In 1993, German engineer Rudolf Gattenbrink was inside the Great Pyramid of Giza studying an unexplored shaft in the Queen's Chamber. What's interesting about this shaft is that unlike the two shafts found in the King's Chamber, they don't open up to the outside. Instead, they seemingly go about 10 feet into the wall and lead to a dead end, meaning the purpose of them was still unknown. So Rudolf created a little robot that was equipped with a camera and a light small enough to fit inside of this 8-inch wide square shaft. And when they sent this robot into the tunnel, something happened that would change his life forever. Once the robot reached what was supposed to be the end of this shaft, they noticed that it kept going. But rather than continuing in a straight line, it actually ramped up at a 40-degree angle into a much longer, previously undiscovered section. And from the camera's feed, they could see that it went for another 90 yards before coming to a dead end, where the robot came up to what appeared to be a tiny limestone door with 2 copper handles embedded into it. This discovery baffled Rudolf and his team because metal has never been found anywhere else inside the Great Pyramid, which is supposed to be made entirely of limestone. And they could tell this was a door of some sort because it had a little bit of space around the edges, indicating there was likely something behind it. Was this door placed there after the pyramid was built, or was it intentionally put there to protect something? Either way, Rudolf had to know what was behind that door. That's when he asked Zahi Hawass, the Minister of Antiquities for the Egyptian government, for permission to investigate further and see what was behind the door.
We worked 2 years.
But now no longer.
No longer, no.
Why not?
But rather than giving him permission, Zahi, along with the Egyptian authorities, shut down Rudolf and his team and banned them from ever researching the site again.
There were quite a lot of problems between us about the question how to state the find.
Now, we've actually met Zahi before in my video about the Sphinx, and the truth is, Zahi, despite being the most famous archaeologist in Egypt, has a known history of suppressing any new evidence that may conflict with mainstream Egyptology.
When I do archaeology, you listen to me. Shut up!
But what you need to realize is that the vast majority of mainstream Egyptology is based on ideas that are highly speculative at best, especially when it comes to the Great Pyramid. Because almost everything you've ever learned in school about it are not proven facts, but rather are unproven hypotheses based on circumstantial evidence and perpetuated by Zahi at the top of the mainstream Egyptology pyramid. See what I did there? Now, according to mainstream scientists, the Great Pyramid of Giza was built about 4,500 years ago by the pharaoh Khufu, who wanted to use it as his tomb one day. It allegedly only took 20 years to complete. By the time it was finished, the pyramid actually looked much different than it does today because it was covered in a white, smooth limestone that went all the way up from the base to the capstone, which was made of solid gold. That is, until somewhere in the 1200s, a huge earthquake hit Egypt, causing most of the buildings in Cairo to collapse, along with some of these white limestones to break loose. Unfortunately for us, the Egyptians at the time decided to then strip off the rest of the white limestone along with the capstones so they could be used to help rebuild the city, leaving the blocky appearance that